Good morning class 12 students. So this is your subject physics, chapter number 9, that is ray optics, and in this lecture I'll be discussing the solutions of all the NCERT questions that were left. Okay, so I'll be taking all the difficult questions. So let us begin. So the first is question number 11. It says a compound microscope of objective lens of focal length 2 cm, that is f0 is 2 cm, and an eyepiece of focal length 6.25 centimeters are separated by a distance of 15 centimeter. That is, if I draw a roughly diagram, this is your objective lens, this is your eye lens, and the distance between them is given to be 15 centimeters. Okay. So further the question says, how far away from the objective lens should the object be placed in order to obtain the final image at A, the least distance of distinct vision, and B, at infinity. Okay. So now we have to calculate at what distance should this object be placed from the objective lens such that first your final image forms at D, that is least distance of distinct vision, and other case when your final image forms at infinity. So let us discuss first case first. Okay, so for this case it is given the final image should be formed at D, that is minus 25 centimeters, and as you know final image will be formed by eye lens, so you can say VE should be minus 25 centimeters for this case. Now you know FE, you know VE, so by using lens formula you can easily calculate UE, that will come to be minus 5 centimeters, right? So now that means the object for the eye lens is placed at 5 centimeters. So this is the eye lens and this will be the object and the distance will be 5 centimeters. So this is UE. Now clearly see here the distance between them is 15 centimeters. This distance, that is UE, is 5 centimeters. So this will be 15 minus 5, that is 10 centimeters. So now you can say V0. See, this is nothing but the image by objective lens. So we can say V0 is nothing but 10 centimeters. So V0 will be 15 minus 5, that will be 10 centimeter. So here I will suggest you in such questions always draw a rough diagram, because see by drawing a diagram we can easily say that this will be 10 centimeter. So therefore draw a roughly diagram and see which value is coming to be there. Okay, so now you have V0, F0 is already given in the question. Again use the lens formula and calculate U0, that will come to be minus 2.5 centimeters. So easily the answer has come that this will be the position of image for this will be the position of object for which your final image will be formed at least distance of distinct vision. Okay, now in this question you are also asked to calculate magnifying power in each case. So now as you know the formula of magnifying power of a compound microscope when the image is formed at D, that is V0 upon U0 into 1 plus D upon Fe. So you have all the factors, just put the value and you will get the answer to be 20. Okay, so now for second part, your final image should be at infinity. That is, for this case VE should be infinity. Now the image will be formed at infinity by the eye lens only when the object is placed at its focus. So here we can easily say that the distance of object for the eye lens should be equal to the focus of that, and that will be minus 6.25 centimeters. It is already given in question. Now again, as we calculated in the A part, V0 will be 15 minus 6.25. So V0 will be 8.75 centimeters. So now again you know F0, you know V0, use the lens formula and you will get U0 to be minus 2.59 centimeters. Now for this case, you have studied two formulas of magnification. First was minus LD upon F0 Fe, but this was a particular case when your V0 and U0 are particularly equal to L or D, right? So we will not be using this formula here. Instead, we will be using the general formula, which was the total magnification is the product of individual magnifications of objective and eye lens. So therefore, M will be equal to, see, MO will be VO by UO and ME will be VE by UE. Now you know all the values. So just put the value of V0 to be 8.75, VE to be 25, U0 to be 2.59 and UE to be 6.25. So you will get the answer to be 13.55. Okay, so the next is question number 14. It says a giant telescope at an observatory has an objective lens of focal length 15 meter and an eye lens of focal length 1 centimeter. Okay, so f naught is given to be 15 meter, or you can say 1500 centimeter, and eye lens is given to be of focal length 1 centimeter. So in the first part it says what is the angular magnification of telescope. So it is very easy, as you know the angular magnification is minus f naught upon fe. You are given f naught, you are given fe, so the magnification will come to be 1500. Okay. Second part of the question says, if this telescope is used to view the moon, what is the diameter of the image of the moon formed by the objective lens? The diameter of the moon, the actual diameter of the moon is given to be this much, and the radius of lunar orbit is given to be this much. So to understand B part, let us draw a diagram. Okay, so let us consider this is the actual size of the moon. This is your objective lens. So the rays are falling on the, I am taking the rays are falling on optical center of the objective lens. So they will be passing undeviated. And let's say the final image is formed here. Okay. Okay, so both the rays are passing through optical center. So they have gone undeviated. Okay. So let us denote actual diameter of the moon by the R1. Let us denote the diameter of the moon this will be the image of the moon. So let us suppose that the diameter of that image is R2. Okay, let us suppose this angle is theta 1, this angle is theta 2. Now obviously they will be equal to each other. Let us suppose this length is L1 and let us suppose this length is L2. Okay, so now as you know theta is arc upon radius. So theta 1 will be arc, that is L1. Your arc will be R1 and this will be your radius L1 here. So theta 1 will be R1 upon L1. Similarly, theta 2 will also be arc, that is R2 upon radius, that is L2. So theta 1 will be R1 upon L1, theta 2 will be R2 upon L2. And now from here you can see theta 1 is equal to theta 2. So therefore R1 upon L1 will be equal to R2 upon L2. Now R1, that is diameter of the moon, that is given to you in the question to be 3.48 into 10 to the power 6 meter. L1, that is the distance of the moon from the eye lens. So this is nothing but radius of lunar orbit, that is the distance to the moon from the earth, that is given to be 3.8 into 10 to the power 8 meters is equals to R2. So R2 is nothing but the image of the diameter of image of the moon. Okay, R2 is nothing but diameter of the image of the moon. Okay, so let us consider that to be D. And L2, see, because the angle is very small, so this length will be nearly equal to this length, and this is nothing but f naught, because when the rays are coming from infinity, the image will be formed at focus of the objective lens. So L2 will be nearly equal to f naught. So now you know f naught also, it is given in the question. From here calculate D, that is your diameter of the image of the moon which is formed, that will come to be 13.73 centimeters. Okay, so the next is question number 21. It says determine the effective focal length of the combination of two lenses of focal length 30 centimeter and minus 20 centimeter if they are placed 8 centimeter apart from their principal axis with their principal axis coincident. That is, the focal length of the first lens is given to be 30 centimeter. Second lens is given to be minus 20 centimeter. So from here you can say first lens is convex lens and second lens is concave lens because its focal length is negative. So again here I have drawn a roughly diagram. This is your concave lens, this is your convex lens. This is your concave lens and the distance between them is given to be 8 centimeters in the question. After that the question says, does the answer depend on which side a beam of parallel light is incident, and is the notion of effective focal length of this system useful at all? Okay, so to calculate the effective focal length, you can just simply use the formula that we have discussed in the theory lectures. So I am not calculating that. So just use the formula 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2 minus d upon f1 f2. By using that you will get the effective focal length. So now let me tell you the further question. Okay, so here see, let us suppose a parallel ray is coming from this direction, that is from left to right, and is falling on the convex lens first. So u1 will be infinity because for this the object will be placed at infinity obviously. So u1 is infinity, f1 you know already, so calculate v1 from here by using lens formula. So 1 upon f1 is equals to 1 upon v1 minus 1 upon u1. So v1 will come to be 30 centimeters from here. So that means for this the image will be formed at this point, which is at 30 centimeters from the lens. Now again see, this is 30, this is 8. So this distance will be 30 minus 8, and this will be nothing but u2, that is object for the concave lens. So u2 will be 30 minus 8, that is 22 centimeters. So again, now you know f2, you know u2, so just again use lens formula and calculate v2. That will come to be minus 220 centimeters. So this shows that the parallel beam will be diverging at a point 220 centimeter from the concave lens, because this is the distance from the concave lens. Okay, so we can say that the parallel beam, or you can say the answer will depend on which side of the lens the parallel beam is incident. Okay, because obviously if the parallel beam is incident first on concave lens, then the answer will change, because here we have considered that the beam is falling on convex lens first, and obviously there will be not any effect of effective focal length on this answer. Okay, because on all the factors we have not used effective focal length anywhere, so there will be no effect of focal length of effective focal length of the system on this. Okay, so the B part of the question says an object 1.5 centimeter in size is placed on the side of the convex lens in the above arrangement. That is, on the side of a convex lens, an object of height 1.5 centimeter is placed at a distance of 40 centimeters. So h1 is 1.5 centimeter and u1 will be minus 40 centimeters. So the question says the distance between the object and the convex lens is 40 centimeters. Determine the magnification produced by the lens system and the size of image. Okay, so to calculate magnification, we will first be calculating some things. So you know u1, f1 is already given in question. So again use lens formula and calculate v1. That will come to be 120 centimeters. Okay, so now as you know, the total magnification is nothing but the product of individual magnifications. So first of all, let us calculate the magnification produced by convex lens. So that will be v1 by u1, that is 120 upon 40. So that will give you 3. Okay. Now again look at the diagram. This is 40, this is 8. The image is formed at 120 centimeters. This image will be acting as object for this lens. So this distance will be 120 minus 8. So u2 will be 120 minus 8, that will be 112 centimeters. f2 is already given in question. Again use lens formula. You will get v2 to be minus 24 centimeters. Again using your magnification formula, that is v2 upon u2, you will get the magnification produced by concave lens to be 0.65. So again the total magnification will be nothing but just multiplication of the individual magnification, that is m1 into m2, that will be 0.652. Now if you know total magnification and if you know the height of object, you can easily calculate height of image, because magnification is nothing but height of image upon height of height of image upon height of object. So height of image will come to be 0.98 centimeters. Okay, so now question number 25, 26 and 27 are related to myopia, short-sightedness, etc., which are related to the errors in our eyes. So that is not in your syllabus, so do not do those questions, cut them. Okay, so now next is question number 36. So question number 36 says a telescope uses two mirrors as shown in the figure. Such a telescope is built with the mirrors 20 centimeter apart. That is, you are given two mirrors at a distance of 20 centimeter apart. The radius of the curvature of larger concave mirror is given to be 220 millimeter, and the radius of curvature of this small mirror is given to be 140 millimeters. So I am denoting them by R1 and R2 for respectively mirrors. Okay. So first of all, if you know R1, you can easily calculate F1, that will be R1 by 2. So F1 will be coming to be 110 centimeters. Similarly, if you know R2, you can easily calculate F2, that will come to be 70 centimeters. Okay. So the question says, if the radius of curvature of the larger mirror is 220 millimeter and the small mirror is 140 millimeter, where will be the final image of an object which is at infinity? So that means the final object, your initial the object is placed at infinity. That means the rays will be coming parallel to the principal axis of this concave mirror. So now, as you know, when the rays come parallel to a mirror, the image is formed at focus. So now this image will be coming like this, the reflected rays will be coming like this, and if you extend them, they will be meeting at focus. But because in the path there is a convex lens placed, so they will be striking it here. Okay, so now as the distance between them is given to be 20 centimeters, so that means after getting reflected from concave mirror, these reflected rays will be meeting this convex lens at a distance of 20 centimeter, and this is F1 because when producing these rays, these will be making a virtual image at at focus of your concave mirror. Now you are given all these factors and I am taking D, that is this to be 20 millimeters. Now see, this virtual image will be acting as object for this mirror. So let us calculate this this distance. So this distance will be nothing but F1 minus 20. So U2, that is the distance of object for your second mirror, will be F1 minus 20, that is 90 millimeters. So now you know U2, you know F2 already given in question, use mirror formula. So this will be plus because this is mirror formula. Use mirror formula and you can easily calculate the position of image, that will come to be 315 millimeters. Okay. So always remember all the formulas. For mirrors, focal length is R by 2, and for lenses, we will be using lens maker's formula. For mirrors, you have the formula of mirror formula to be 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon v plus 1 upon u, and for lenses you have the lens formula to be 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. Now let us discuss the next question, that is question number 37. Okay, so the question number 37 says, light incident normally on a plane mirror attached to a galvanometer coil retraces backwards as shown in figure. So this is your plane mirror, okay, and we are taking this to be the position from which your light is falling. Okay, so the light is falling, and because it is falling at a normal incidence to the plane mirror, so it will retrace its path. Okay, so the question says a current in the coil produces a deflection of 3.5 degree of the mirror. That is, this mirror gets reflected by an angle of theta, which is 3.5 degrees as given in the question. Now it is asking what is the displacement of the reflected spot of light on a screen placed 1.5 meters away. So see, when the mirror gets rotated by theta, the image formed by it also gets, or you can say the reflected light also gets reflected by 2 theta. Remember this, when your plane mirror gets reflected or gets rotated by theta, the reflected ray will rotate by 2 theta in the same direction. So if we are rotating it by theta in clockwise direction, so this spot of image, because initially the ray was coming the ray was retracing its parts, so this will also rotate by 2 theta in the clockwise direction. Okay, so now we know theta to be 3.5 degrees, so the 2 theta, that is this angle, will come to be 7 degrees. Now from here we just want to calculate this distance because it is asking where will be the spot be present now. So let us denote that by small d. This is given to be 1.5 meter in the question. So calculate tangent to theta. So tangent to theta will be perpendicular, that is d, upon base, that is 1.5. So from here d will come to be 1.5 tangent to theta. Solve it, you will get the answer of d to be 0.18 meters. That is, by this much distance the reflected spot will be rotating. By this much distance the reflected dot will be shifting on the screen. Okay, so the next is question number 38. It says, the figure shows a equiconvex lens of refractive index 1.5 in contact with a liquid layer on the top of a plane mirror. A small needle with its tip on the principal axis is moved along the axis until its inverted image is found at the position of the needle. The distance of the needle from the lens is measured to be 45 centimeters. The liquid is removed and the experiment is repeated. The new distance is measured to be 30 centimeters. What is the refractive index of the liquid? So now if you see the diagram carefully, this is a equiconvex lens. Now after that there is a layer of some liquid, and after that a plane mirror is placed. So now if you see clearly, we have combination of two lenses here without any distance between them. So the first lens is equiconvex lens, and the second, if you see clearly, this is nothing but a plano-concave lens. Okay, so this question now becomes the question of combination of lenses. So now it is given when there is no liquid present, the image is found to be at, okay, so when this layer is removed, that distance is measured to be 30 centimeters. So that means the focal length of this lens, that is this equiconvex lens, is nothing but 30 centimeters. Let us suppose that the focal length of this second lens is f2. Now combined focal length is also given, that is when this lens is present and when the liquid lens is present, the image is formed at 45 centimeters. That means the combined focal length is given to be 45 centimeters. So now just use the form combination of lenses, that is 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. So now you know f, you know f1, you can easily calculate f2, that will come to be minus 90 centimeters. That means the focal length of this plano-concave lens is minus 90 centimeters. Okay, so now you are asked to calculate the refractive index of this liquid. So for that, if you consider this lens, as you know, the R1 for the convex lens is positive and R2 is negative. So let us suppose R1 is R and R2 is minus R. Mu is given to be 1.5 for the glass lens. So just using lens maker's formula, that is 1 upon F1 is equals to mu minus 1 into 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. You know R1 to be R, R2 to be minus R. You know mu, you know F1. So R will come to be 30 centimeters from here. Now let us consider second lens. Because second lens is a plano-concave lens and R1 for a concave lens is negative, so R1 will be equal to minus R, that is minus 30 centimeters. And the other side of the plano-concave lens is plane, so that means R2 will be equal to infinity. Again using lens formula, that is 1 upon lens maker's formula, that is 1 upon F2 is equals to mu L minus 1 into 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2 for plano-concave lens. Now here this is nothing but the refractive index of your liquid lens. So now you know F2, you know R1, you know R2, put all the values and solve it. You will get the refractive index of liquid lens to be 4/3. Okay students, so now your chapter is totally completed. So do all the questions of NCERT properly. Thank you.